Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It Down. Let's manage a crusade. Must be cold in here. Top quality weapons are pricey, but the buyer will get their money's worth in the very first battle. Highest quality gear has been purchased. Also, all chainable units gain the quality equipment feat, which grants +2 bonus to strength and dexterity, a +1 bonus to attack and damage, and a +1 bonus to armor class. The cost of recruiting trainable units increases by 5%. Report. A rough-looking Pathfinder with an inconspicuous face appears out of nowhere. He raises his hands, indicating that he comes in peace. He hands you a letter. Commander, I request an urgent meeting. My situation is desperate. Only your intervention can save my daughter and me. You can find me in the usual place, since a disability prevents me from coming to you. I'm counting on you. Venture Captain Hylor. Which is the same thing as the letter that we got. I'm not sure why we get the report and the letter, but sure. Inquisitor Leoder seeks a meeting with the commander. Leoder Hawkblade, the Inquisitor who is investigating the case of Darren and the entity known as the Other, has arrived in Drezen and wants to meet with the commander. And we've already met. Alright, so we have events. A daring strike. The spies have reported that two high-ranking demons are currently at each other's throats, and their forces are in disarray. The command staff is planning to take advantage of this infighting, and is already preparing a daring surprise attack. The officers are asking the commander to determine what should be the main focus. We do maximum damage to the enemy, unlocks Daring Blow Ritual. All units of the target army take 150 times mythic rank physical damage. This move can only be used once. Gathering Intelligence will give us the Reconnaissance Ritual. All units of the target army receive the Study Target feat. This effect lasts for 7 days. This move can only be used once. And Seizing Trophies unlocks the Raid for Plunder Decree. Adds 11,000 finance points, 500 material points, and 100 energy points. Let's do maximum damage to the enemy. Everything is ready for the operation. The soldiers are awaiting the final order before charging into battle to slay as many of the abyssal spawn as they can. So I think optimally, Seizing Trophies is probably the best one. That'll give you a lump sum of resources now that we have to rebuild our army. Report. Thanks to the power of the Wardstone residing in Drezen, the Demon Siege was much less bloody than it could have been. Because you can't destroy the Wardstone. I almost called it the Worldstone. Wrong franchise. You can't destroy the Wardstone in Act 1. Enough soldiers survived in the Citadel to form a fighting detachment that is now awaiting the commander's orders. Report. In the commander's absence, the Crusaders were led by Queen Galfrey, but everyone remembered that the official title of leader of the Crusade had not been taken away from the commander. His glory attracted many warriors, and a detachment of such volunteers have just arrived at the walls of Drezen. Report. The Galarian slaves rescued by the commander and Arueshalae are infinitely grateful, and they are ready to get even with the demons with weapons in hand. And report. The gladiators from Arueshalae who came with the commander to Galarian are ready to continue fighting for the glory of their master. Should probably get a different title for them. Alright, I've seen this before. Don't care about that one. Or that one for right now. Alright, studying the unusual crystal. The crystal the commander came upon holds many mysteries. Experts on magic and relics may be able to shed some light on some of them. The fate of the remains of the colorless one. I'll go ahead and issue that. Strengthening the chain of command. We've read this before. And the development of the art of war. Oh, we need to manage the army next, and then we can rest up. Alright, I'm not sure why I can't select Setsuna Shy. It's out for 3 days for some reason. So, that's fine, I guess. We have a few new abilities, so we've seen Daring Strike. We also have Mass Teleportation. Moves a target army to a point on the global map that is unoccupied by enemies. A Call to Arms adds units to the target army with a total value of 750 times Mythic rank. The unit type is chosen randomly from the units that are already present in the army. Mighty Tempest. All units in the target army take 18d6 times Mythic rank physical damage. Replenish. Recover the target general's energy for 10 times Mythic rank points. And Storm of Justice. All units in the target army take 8d10 times Mythic rank magic damage. Additionally, evil creatures take 8d10 times Mythic rank. Demons and Undead take plus 8d10 times Mythic rank. Grand tier units take plus 8d12 times Mythic rank. I'm not sure if you can double dip with that damage. Like, they're evil and demons. But demons and undead are inherently evil, so I'm not sure. But it says additionally, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, let's go ahead and move this army out a bit. So we're going to have more demonic armies to the west to take care of. I'll start moving in this direction. Not with this army, though. But we can still assign the other general to that army. That'll be my backup. Then we'll use Call to Arms here. Then we'll assign this guy. Alright, so we do Crushing Offense. All units in the army have a +1 bonus to attack per level of this feat. Mobile Hospital 1 increases infirmary size by 7% per level of this feat. Close Combat Training. All infantry units have a +2 bonus to armor class, attack, and damage. Let's go ahead and use that, because he is all infantry. He also gets Penetrating Strike. Target unit ignores up to 3 points of damage reduction for 3 rounds. This is an arcane spell. Defensive Training, Offensive Training, Master of Maneuver 2. Let's do that. And just because we have these guys, we'll slap them in this army, though they may not last. In fact, I forgot I didn't actually recruit the clerics, because I had a full army up. That's unfortunate. But not the end of the world. Alright, let's get out of this, rest up. We'll have a couple advisory meetings.
Please don't look at me like that. I can read your desires plainly on your face.
Do you think your face does not betray your inner thoughts? A wolf can befriend a flock of sheep, but it will always see them as lumps of meat. Wouldn't you agree?
Commander, glad to see you back with us. Captain Harmonin has barely changed since your last meeting, but his glare is now even heavier than before, and his arms and face bear new scars. You've arrived just in time. There's unrest within your forces once again. Unfortunately, once you returned, so did the wary. They're turning the soldiers against you. I'm afraid we're dealing with an open mutiny. They're agitating for the army to abandon Drezen and march to Eyes, to Her Majesty's aid. If we don't stop them, the outcome may be disastrous. Let's meet with the wary. I don't believe it'll be hard to convince them that their plan is pure madness. We'll gather loyal officers and send them to speak with the soldiers, unarmed, with an open heart. We'll convince them to turn their backs on those madmen and their mutiny. Mutinies must be suppressed with absolute severity. We surround all units engaged in the revolt, then we arrest and hang the agitators, publicly. I forgot we haven't brought Land back, so we're not going to have him for some of these, roles. Behind every rebellious leader is a very angry second-in-command who dreams of promotion. We'll just hint at the fastest way to get it, and the mutiny will fade away by itself, with the added benefit of refreshing our staff. If the wary are so loyal to the Queen, why did they leave with her instead of remaining in Drezen? I couldn't say, Commander. I believe we should talk to them and find out their reasoning, and their plan of action. I do agree that this all looks very suspicious. You also have a great deal of respect for Queen Galfrey, don't you? I'm a soldier. It's my duty to respect my superiors. I hold you in high esteem as well. You catch nervous trembling in Harmonin's voice, partially masked by his calm and relaxed tone. Let's discuss our options in further detail. As you command. Sela, what's your plan? And even if there were any doubts before, it's perfectly clear now. The soldiers are not to blame for anything. They're being provoked by dishonorable officers. It would be a crime to turn our loyal troops against them. We, those who give them orders, must convince them not with blades, but with words. We will appeal to their conscience, and make them abandon this madness no matter what the insiders and their command are saying. Approaching the mutineers unarmed would be the definition of madness. I'm not even going to discuss this plan of sorts. Regil, what do you suggest? Revolt should be nipped in the bud. We'll surround the mutinous detachments, then publicly execute the wary and all those convinced of instigation. If seditious tendencies persist, we do it again. It's the only way to ensure the troops' loyalty. A fair point. The demons are struggling to exterminate our forces. Let's do them a favor and slaughter our soldiers ourselves. Darren, your opinion, please. Behind the back of every disgruntled officer is a whole queue of aspirants eager to take their place. To get rid of the ringleaders of the wary, we won't even have to hire assassins. The promise of a promotion and a pay raise is all it will take for any second-in-command to do their duty, be it by a dagger or a drop of poison. They'll make good officers, feared by allies and enemies alike. I know that the word honor means nothing to you, but this idea is horrible even from the most cynical perspective. What's the point of ridding ourselves of schemers and traitors? We're only going to replace them with other schemers and traitors, and murderers to boot. Captain Harmon, what would you advise? I think that talks of a self-directed march or a bluff. Only lunatics would follow such a suicidal plan. We need to talk to the wary and ask them what they really want. Don't parley with mutineers. I'm pretty sure that we all know what they want. The same thing as everybody else. Power and money. We'll just be playing into the hands of the wary if we sit down and talk with them as equals. Well, thank you. Everything is clear. What are your orders? So Sela will give us the charismatic feat for all generals. At the start of a battle, our units gain a plus 15 bonus to combat morale, which increases the odds of them acting twice. A Regil will give us decimation. Any unit in the army gains a plus 3 bonus to combat morale when damaged. Darren gives us the Bloodthirsty Officer's feat. At the start of a battle, all enemies' units suffer a minus 15 penalty to combat morale. Captain Harmon gives us Crusade morale reduces by 25. Obviously, just a terrible choice there. And then I can choose to do it my way. We get the Test of Strength feat. All units gain a plus 1 bonus to combat morale each turn. I'm gonna do it my way. I'll do this my way. We'll surround their forces, cut off their supply routes, and maintain the blockade until they give in. I dare not protest, but for the record, I believe you're making a mistake that might lead to terrible consequences. I'll keep you up to date on how things unfold. As soon as there are any developments, I'll reconvene the council. My boy Odin. Commander, glad to see you back at the head of the military council. A decision is required of you more urgently than ever. Here's the situation. We don't have an army, in the strictest sense, and the enemy is putting up much more of a fight than previously. Judging by the reports, the demons are relying less and less on the armies of their mortal servants and the power of simple blades, and more on magic and dark sorceries. We must respond in kind by bolstering our forces with expert spellcasters. I'm prepared to send an order to Canabras at once, requesting the necessary reinforcements. I propose we support our army with bardic magic. Bards learn all kinds of spells in their travels, and their songs can inspire our warriors and give them strength to fight. These demons know their vile magics, but I know something stronger than that. The power of the gods. We need some war priests in our army. Their spells will chase away the darkness and heal the wounded. We'd do well to invite monks into our army. They've been hardened by a lifetime of training, and even demonic corruption cannot harm them. Yeah, but Regil, we're trying to hire spellcasters. If you're in need of mages versed in the art of killing, you should contact the Daggermark Poisoners Guild. Their alchemists are second to none when it comes to making deadly poisons or utilizing them in battle. The sorcery's a foul business. Let the Oglands cast their evil spells. That's no reason for us to welcome sorcerers with open arms. We'd be better off calling upon the druids. They know how to fight against fae, illusions, Oglan magic, and all other vile things. We've been able to manage with what magic we've had just fine so far. The enemy never stands still. The more serious a threat we become for them, the more substantial will be the forces they throw at us. Gone are the days when the Abyss would casually send hosts of mindless cultists and lower demons. Now we're up against more cunning and skilled opponents, who can incinerate a dozen soldiers with a single spell. We must respond to this with magic of our own, or we will lose. Are you sure Canabras is going to send us troops? Without a doubt. Canabras is much safer than we are at the moment, and I'm convinced that the Warden can provide some forces to support us. All of Mendev knows that right now. Drezen is the dam holding back the river of demonic corruption that would otherwise be flooding the south. The kingdom is in the process of mobilization, and Queen Goffrey's March on Ice has encouraged many who previously shirked military service to join the ranks of the army. Why didn't you leave with Goffrey, Captain Odin? Captain Odin grows pale, but his voice sounds cold and steady. I did put in a request for a transfer to the front lines. Unfortunately, it was refused. Command determined that, due to the psychological trauma I suffered during my years of service on the border, I am no longer fit for battlefield command. He lowers his head. As much as it stings to admit it, they may be right. It's been a long time since I smelled burning flesh and heard the screams of battle, and I can't guarantee that, when I do, I'll be able to maintain my composure. That I won't fail the soldiers who will be depending on me. However, I can still serve them by staying where I am. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Everyone looks at you expectantly. Sela, are the war priests battle ready? Of course, I mean they're called war priests. There are plenty of brave and honest people among them, and serving the gods of light makes it their duty to resist evil. Many war priests make a conscious choice to forego a life of peace, because their ideals wouldn't let them stand idly by. They've studied the military craft, and their blessings and healing spells have saved many a soldier's life. I hate the idea of risking the lives of the god's servants. If they perish, their celestial patrons may resent it and turn their backs on us. Seems unlikely, considering the war that we're fighting. I mean, that's a very weak argument against this choice. Arueshalae, can monks really withstand demonic magic? Monks are paragons of restraint and iron discipline. They're comparable to the Hell Knights in that regard. Among other things, they bring the values of order to our troops. But the soldiers see how all demonic machinations and temptations break upon the monk's iron will. Then they themselves will become more calm and resolute. Honestly, I'm surprised he doesn't recommend Hell Knight Signifers, the spellcasters of the Hell Knight orders. I feel like that would have been more in line than monks. Like Greybor, tell me more about the Poisoner's Guild. They're a creepy bunch. Imagine, if you will, an alchemist and an accomplished scientist who can take your breakfast and make a bomb or a poison that could kill a basilisk out of it. And now imagine that this same alchemist doesn't mind personally shoving this poison into the basilisk's mouth. That's a pretty good description of your average member of the Daggermark Poisoner's Guild. It's true. Their blades coated with magical poisons are not as dramatic as calling down lightning from the skies, but they are just as effective and far less conspicuous. You underestimate the power of dark magic, Greybor. A poison dagger can't send every scoundrel in this world to Pharasma, especially since demons are immune to poison by default. Ulbrich, how would the druids help us? I already told you about the Verduran Forest, didn't I? It's a brutal little spot. The folk there have to fight for the right to live every single day. If they tear it from the claws of evil fae, walking plants, huge spiders, and all kinds of oglins. The druids there really know their stuff when it comes to fighting otherworldly beasts and their foul magic. You couldn't find better people to have on your side. I'm sorry, but experience fighting fae isn't going to be much use against demons. Don't take this the wrong way, Ulbrich, but Sarkoris had more druids than anywhere else, and they still didn't manage to save it. See, that's a fair point. Unlike the argument against the war priests. Captain Odin, how can bards help us on the battlefield? It's become a fine tradition among Mendevian warriors to go into battle accompanied by songs of daring bards who glorify heroic deeds and strengthen the hand that smites the demons. Their ballads will inspire our soldiers, and their spells can prove useful in the most unexpected situations. Bards. Their tongues are too long. Yeah, it's not really a good argument against any of these except for Greybor's, honestly. And then my only critique with Regals is that it's not Signifers instead of monks. Everything is clear to me now. The advisors nod respectfully in response to your words. Alright, so the main Spellcaster's Lodge provides weekly recruitment growth for War Priests. I mean, we already know what we're going to get for each one of these. I am going to go with the War Priest, though. I have the War Priest join our ranks. Excellent. Our fighters will need their spells, but their words of solace and support will be just as important, too. To reach a soldier's heart, you need to eat from the same pot and wear the same boots. I'll send a letter to Canabras immediately, requesting a group of spellcasters to be sent to our aid. I'm certain they will arrive soon, Commander. Alright. Next order of business is to try and get land fixed up. Alright, we've got a problem. I was afraid of this. Let me check down here. Now, we saw sunshine down here earlier, so we know that that's still right. It's possible that we might get a notification saying Lan wants to speak to us in the Citadel later on, because he does have another quest, which we may not be seeing. But maybe that'll trigger his body to appear in Canabra so we can fix it. Alright, Sunshine was down here. He's no longer down here. Maybe we can leave this area and come back.
My way.
And maybe that'll trigger Lan to come back. Oh, that's gonna suck. He's a staple of the party. Alright. The horticultural technique known as grafting has been used by gardeners since ancient times. The sprouting branch of one tree is spliced into the trunk of another. The plant with a stronger root system feeds the other, which is then able to bear more fruit. But can a similar technique be used on mortals and celestial beings? Will this strange endeavor yield fruit? And if so, what kind? The fate of Targona the Angel should answer these questions. A glowing vision appears on the road in front of the commander. It takes a moment for the figure in the vision to manifest fully. But as their angelic silhouette takes shape, it is not difficult to guess who it is. The demonic wing gives it away immediately. Targona's ghostly appearance cannot hide the way her eyes blaze with excitement. She hesitates for a moment, and then begins speaking rapidly. Donald, I have a lot to tell you, but I don't have much time. I won't be able to maintain this projection for long without being noticed, and it's vitally important that our communication remain secret. Alright, listen. I've been chasing down Mutisophin. We're trying to understand how he keeps managing to escape death, and we've worked it out. Mutisophin has created multiple copies of himself. He used a single Nahindran crystal to imbue all of them with power. If he is killed, his consciousness is immediately transferred into a new body. There's no way to prevent this transference, at least not by any ordinary means. He's also hidden these bodies in different locations, making them almost impossible to find. There was only one way to stop him. I surrendered myself to Mutisophin. I allowed him to capture me. I'm speaking to you from a secret lab. Mutisophin is about to depart for Polaris Temple. Track him down and kill him, or at the very least give him a good scare. Either way, he'll end up in a secret hideout. That's when we'll strike. Ninja's speech left the commander with a number of unanswered questions. Are you in danger? The angel's smile is sad, but she looks determined. Perhaps. But I knew the risks. Mutisophin is obsessed with the Relu's experiments, and I am one of them. He's escaped us so many times, and I decided that I could not let it happen again. He is planning something big, something horrifying. I think he may be trying to open another world wound. We must stop him. What exactly do you need me to do? We need you to drive Mutisophin into a trap we prepared for him. He's keeping me imprisoned in his lair while he goes to Polaris Temple. If you spook him or kill him, he'll retreat to his secret hideout. But he won't know that I've contacted you, so he'll think that he is safe. He is unaware of the connection we share. This connection not only allows me to communicate with you, but also with the other Holy Wardens, because they have a small amount of your power. Once Mutisophin is back in his lair, you and the others can catch him. And this time, and finish him off for good. Where are the other Wardens? I've sent them a message. They're on their way to the location as we speak. They'll set the trap and await your arrival. Don't worry. They won't do anything until you get here. We don't want to scare Mutysophin away. This is our chance to finish him off once and for all. All of a sudden, the angel shudders. My captives are near. Mutysophin is on his way here. I don't know what he wants, but I must sever this connection. Go to Polaris Temple, I beg you, and then confine me here, in this prison. With this last desperate plea, the vision of Targona fades. I'll find you. Son of a gun. Well, land may be lost to us forever. Actually, I think I'm ready to depart next time. I will probably level everybody up and assign mythic ranks and then set out. Yeah, this isn't the first time a game has been thrown off the rails a bit by a petrification ability. When I played Baldur's Gate 2, I was trying to romance Jaheira. But if you're in the middle of a romance and you remove that character from the party, it can mess up the romance. Which is what happened. Jaheira got petrified, which counts as her being removed from the party. So, yeah. And this time Land got petrified, and he's no longer with us at all. Which is unfortunate. Alright, but either way for now, I'm going to call it here. Next time we'll set out. We have quite a bit to do. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.